Hello and welcome, and today we're going to look at recognising and counting numbers up to 6. And I've got some dominoes which might be useful if you've got them, and just some straightforward pencils that we'll look at in a minute. But first of all, just to point out the importance of looking and recognising numbers. There's 1, there's 2. And these are well-known patterns either on dominoes or on dice. And there's 3. And we don't count that, we just recognise it's 3. And that's really important, that we can teach children to recognise numbers simply by the pattern that is familiar to us. And of course we know we've got 4, a bit like a square. 5, based on that square but with that one in the middle. And 6, it's 2 rows of 3, or it's still that square but 2 of the sides have got an extra one in. But it is a well-known pattern, and those patterns are really useful. So if you've got dominoes or dice and you can just roll the dice, show the dominoes, can your child recognise the numbers without having to count them? But there's nothing wrong with counting if that's what we need to do. And I've got 6, and I'll show you I've got 6, so I'm going to count them. And it's 1 to 1 as we go along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that I counted, I held each one as I went along. I just point to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pointing to each one as I go. And of course, as we get even better, we can do it without having to point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're just looking at them. But we need to be really confident that we are looking at each one as we go along, as we do that. But I could arrange these. So there's our 6, and of course we've got 2 lots of 3, and we recognise the pattern there, which is a triangle. Different, of course, to the shape of the 3. But it does remind us of this domino with the 6, the 2 3s. Here we've got 2 3s, and that's really helpful to us. I could change the shape. So I've got 4 in the square, remembering our domino with the square on. So what you can do is just make some patterns or put some shapes down and ask your child how many have you got. And there they might see 3, 4, 5. They might have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just see what it is. If they get it right, just accept that they've got the answer. You might want them to, or you get them to explain. So they've gone 3, 4, 5. But you don't always have to get them to count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if they know it's 5. So we'll try again, a different pattern. Notice I haven't joined that one up, but it's still 3. Or you can give your child some pencils and say, here we are, can you make a pattern with those? And then they might make this shape, a bit like a rocket or a house. Of course that house is upside down to you, but if they were sitting over here, it's a bit like a house. And they can see that's 5, and of course that's the shape that has a name as well. I wonder if you know what that one is. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, and there are plenty more coming.